What if you didn't need to have it all figured out to change your life? What if all it took was one moment of clarity, one inner whisper that says, "It's time"? If you've felt that subtle pull to begin again, not louder, but deeper, then this video is for you. We're going to explore 10 Stoic morning practices that quietly reshape your mindset and set the tone for a more powerful, focused life. Stay with me until the end. This could be the moment everything shifts. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Have you ever felt that despite all the noise, the schedules, the scrolling, the stress, there's a quieter voice inside you calling for something more? That's not a coincidence. That's your true self trying to wake up. In this video, we'll explore ancient Stoic morning rituals that help you reconnect with that inner compass, grounding you in clarity, calm, and purpose before the world even begins to pull at your attention. Ready to take the first step? Let's begin. Blank. Underscore. Blank. There comes a moment, subtle but unmistakable, when you realize you can't keep living on autopilot. Maybe you've already felt it, a quiet refusal to stay stuck. That's not just emotion, that's awakening. The Stoics knew that clarity begins before the chaos of the day. In this video, you'll discover 10 powerful practices to rewire your mornings, recenter your mind, and align your actions with a deeper purpose. Don't skip. Don't scroll. This may be exactly what you've been needing to hear. Are you ready to change your life? Do you feel that deep inner pull to begin again, from a place that feels lighter, clearer, and truly your own? If so, you're not alone. And if you don't yet know where exactly you're headed, that's okay too. You don't need to see the entire map. What truly matters is this: you've awakened. Each of us, in our own way, is walking the path toward becoming a better version of ourselves. But that path doesn't need to feel lonely, vague, or aimless. Long ago, ancient Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus faced the harshest storms of fate, and left behind powerful principles that remain as relevant today as they were centuries ago. They discovered a truth that remains unshakable: to master life, you must first master your mind. In this video, I'll walk you through 10 Stoic morning practices that can reshape your mindset, eliminate distractions, and help you start your day with calm, clarity, and true purpose. These practices may seem small at first glance, but their power lies in consistency, in slowly reprogramming how you think and live. So stay until the end. Don't skip a single one. And if you're truly ready to begin this transformation, leave a comment below. I'm ready. Now, let's dive in. Practice 1. Know what you can control and what you can't. Have you ever felt completely drained just because your day began with a traffic jam? Or maybe someone said something harsh and you carried that pain around for hours, only to spiral into worry about money, the economy, or something far outside your control? I've been there too, overwhelmed by things I had no power to change. But when I began learning from the Stoics, something shifted. They offered a mental breakthrough so simple, yet so transformative. Distinguish clearly between what is in your control and what is not. The Stoics believed that one of the deepest causes of human suffering is our inability to separate these two. We try to control the weather, the economy, the behavior of others, even fate itself, and when we fail, we fall into anxiety, frustration, and even rage. But here's the liberating truth. The only thing you and I truly control is our own mind. It's our mindset when someone misjudges us. It's our attitude when plans go sideways. It's our response when adversity knocks. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That's not just a quote. It's a commandment for inner power. Strength doesn't begin with the world. It begins with a centered mind. I started practicing this every morning. Just a few quiet minutes. Imagining the day ahead, asking, what might go wrong today that I cannot control? How will I respond if it happens? This exercise, known in Stoic philosophy as premeditatio malorum or the premeditation of misfortune, isn't negative thinking. It's mental preparation. And over time, something shifted. The noise of the world grew quieter. My reactions became sharper, calmer. The same delays, judgments, or disruptions that once made me spiral, now they pass through me like wind brushing against a mountain. This isn't about surrender. It's about sovereignty. When you stop giving your power to what lies outside your hands, you begin to live intentionally, one thought, one action, one choice at a time. And suddenly, the world no longer steers your mood. You do. Practice 2. Set your purpose for the day. You wake up, eyes still adjusting to the light. And before you know it, your phone is in your hand. 5 minutes of scrolling, a couple of notifications, a text from someone, and just like that, your day has already been claimed by everything except your own intention. It's not just time that's been stolen. It's your energy, your focus, your direction. If you don't actively set the course, the world will hijack it. Marcus Aurelius once warned, if you don't have a consistent goal in life, you can't live it in a consistent way. It's a brutal truth. If you don't steer the wheel, you'll drift, and drifting leads to a quiet kind of despair. But your purpose doesn't need to be dramatic or grand. It just needs to be clear enough to guide your choices. One small purpose, one clean direction, can transform your day from scattered motions into meaningful steps. For the Stoics, each day was training for virtue, for clarity, for resistance to distraction. Think of Stephen Hawking, diagnosed with ALS at 21 and given just a few years to live. He could have surrendered to despair. Instead, he asked himself, if I have time left, what's the most meaningful way I can use it? His answer, to think, to explore, to reach toward the furthest edges of the universe with nothing but his mind. Even as his body failed, his mind soared. That wasn't luck. That was purpose, renewed every day. So ask yourself, what's the one thing that would make today meaningful? Writing a page? A deep conversation? A workout? It's not about changing the world. It's about knowing why you're here, today. And when you live with that clarity, even small acts feel powerful. Practice 3. Begin with intentional discomfort. Have you ever caught yourself doing everything but the hard thing you know you need to do? You scroll endlessly. You clean. You answer old texts, all to avoid writing that difficult email or facing that uncomfortable truth. Avoiding discomfort is a reflex, but if it becomes your lifestyle, you're training yourself to flee, not grow. The Stoics flipped this script. They called it voluntary hardship. Seneca once advised, choose a few days where you eat simply. Wear rough clothes, and ask yourself, is this what I feared? Because most of our fears aren't based in reality. They live in imagination. By leaning into discomfort, voluntarily, we strip away the illusion. We prove to ourselves that fear is often smoke, not fire. Think of Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist, imprisoned in Auschwitz, having lost everything, yet he discovered something unbreakable. When we can no longer change our situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. His will wasn't crushed, it was forged. From unimaginable suffering, he wrote Man's Search for Meaning, a book that continues to inspire millions. The Stoics took cold showers, wore thin clothes in the winter, fasted, not to suffer, but to remember. Comfort softens the spirit. Each intentional discomfort is a message to the mind. I am stronger than my cravings. Try this. Go a day eating plain food. Take the stairs. Walk in silence. Turn off your phone. Each of these is a drop of courage added to your reservoir. And when life truly challenges you, you'll find you've already been training. Are you ready for what's next? Because in the next practice, we'll explore a method that may seem pessimistic, but holds one of the deepest keys to inner peace. Practice 4. Visualize the worst. We often imagine worst-case scenarios, and before we know it, fear has hijacked our minds. But what if, instead of being passively overwhelmed by anxiety, you chose to visualize the worst deliberately and prepare for it? That's the essence of one of Stoicism's core practices, premeditatio malorum. The premeditation of misfortune. Seneca once said, "This is why we say that nothing happens to the wise person contrary to their expectations." The wise aren't immune to chaos or tragedy. They simply anticipate it. They don't live in denial. They train their minds to be one step ahead, to meet adversity not with shock, but with strategy. Imagine an Olympic athlete. Do they only envision winning gold? No. They also mentally prepare for a false start, a stumble, or even an injury, not because they're pessimistic, but because they're committed. They want to be prepared for anything, not paralyzed by fear, but empowered by readiness. That's what premeditatio malorum gives us. It's not about expecting doom. It's about strengthening resolve. I practiced this before leaving a job I'd held for years. I listed everything that might go wrong: financial instability, fear of failure, judgment from others. But then I wrote my counter responses: reduce expenses, rebuild habits, seek support. And strangely, the moment I put it all on paper, the fear lost its grip. Peace doesn't come from a perfect life. It comes from mental preparation. By facing the worst in your imagination, you remove its power in reality. You're not summoning disaster. You're removing its element of surprise. You're saying, even if this happens, I'll be ready. In that moment, fear transforms into strategy. You shift from being a victim of the unknown to the commander of your inner world. So, here's the real question. Will you keep letting fear brew in the background? Or will you shine a light on it and take control? Let me know your answer in the comments. Practice 5. Remember death. Memento mori. Have you ever sat in stillness and suddenly felt the weight of time? realizing it's slipping through your fingers. Never to return? We often live as if we'll live forever. We postpone heartfelt words, delay our dreams, and spend entire mornings scrolling, as if those moments are disposable. But Marcus Aurelius gave us a sharp, sobering reminder. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Let that sink in. You could leave life right now. This isn't morbid, it's freeing. When we truly embrace the truth of mortality, something powerful happens. We become present. Not frantic, not panicked, present. Because the one who understands that any day could be their last doesn't waste time on pettiness. They don't walk past a loved one without a glance of gratitude. They say the words that matter, now. A friend of mine lost his father in a sudden accident. In the aftermath, he started a daily journal. Just one question. If today were my last, what would I do? That question didn't depress him. It liberated him. He ended toxic relationships, stopped whining, and finally picked up photography, something he'd postponed for 8 years. Memento Mori isn't about fearing death. It's about shedding the illusion of endless time. It reminds us that life is short, and that's exactly what makes it so valuable. One day, your name will vanish from contact lists. Your face will fade from memory. All that remains will be fragments of stories. So ask yourself, if today were my last, am I living true to myself? If the answer is no, then deep down, you already know what must change. And if you're still with me on this journey, thank you. It shows you don't just scroll for entertainment. You reflect. You seek change. That says something rare about you. We've now covered 5 Stoic practices, each one a stepping stone. Together, they form a foundation. But what lies ahead may be one of the most transformative lessons yet. Because in today's noisy world, where everything demands an instant reaction, there's one question we need to ask ourselves more often. Must we respond immediately, or is it possible that sometimes the greatest strength lies in a single pause? Stay with me. Practice 6 is just ahead, and it may shift the way you handle every challenge life throws your way. Our minds are not naturally calm. Every day, they're pulled in 1,000 directions by emotions, expectations, anxieties, and countless distractions. Amid that mental storm, how can we stay centered? How do we master our thoughts? As the Stoics taught, and choose reason over reaction? That's where Stoic journaling comes in. And make no mistake, it's more than just a habit. It's a ritual, a return to clarity, a tool for recovery and perspective. Writing might seem like a simple act, but when done with intention, it becomes one of the most powerful tools you have. It helps you reflect, align your thoughts, and anchor yourself to the values you've chosen to live by. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, never meant for his asterisk meditations to be published. They weren't speeches or essays. They were raw, unfiltered notes, reminders to himself about integrity, patience, the acceptance of death, gratitude for ordinary things. He wasn't writing to impress anyone. He was writing to become someone. And the same applies to you. When you put pen to paper and document your thoughts, you're no longer drifting. You're stepping outside the current and asking, what direction am I being pulled in? Journaling helps you separate what you feel from what you know is right. It reveals the invisible puppeteers pulling your strings, fear, anger, or unconscious desires. Over time, you start to notice patterns, the triggers, the excuses, the silent beliefs that shape your day. This is where transformation begins. In a world that moves too fast to even think, journaling is your rebellion, a quiet act of slowness, of honesty, of reclaiming your thoughts. You ask yourself, am I reacting or choosing? Is this emotion reasonable? Is this fear based on truth or assumption? And no, journaling isn't about presenting a perfect version of yourself. It's a mirror, and sometimes it reflects laziness, resentment, or doubt. But that's what makes it powerful. Because when you face what's real, you can finally begin to change. This is premeditatio at its deepest. Preparing not just for the world's chaos, but for your own inner chaos. You don't need to write beautifully. You just need to write honestly. Even one line. Did I live with reason today? That's enough to begin. If you've ever tried journaling, share your experience in the comments. If not, start tonight. One page, one thought. See where it takes you. Practice 9. Begin with gratitude. Have you ever woken up with a strange emptiness? Not enough time, not enough energy, not enough motivation, as if life, from the very start of the day, is missing something. And what do we usually do? We reach for our phones. We scroll. We complain. We start the day with a sigh. But does any of that help? Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more who is poor." You see, poverty isn't about what you lack. It's about what you think you lack. This mindset of always needing more creates a loop of dissatisfaction. A cycle where even success feels hollow because your mind keeps moving the finish line. The Stoics didn't reject ambition, but they understood this. Contentment is the foundation of strength. When you practice gratitude, you're not ignoring reality. You're choosing to shift your lens from scarcity to abundance, from complaining to appreciation. Think of Nick Vujicic, born without arms or legs. Yet, each day, he chooses joy. He chooses purpose. He begins with gratitude, not for what he's missing, but for what he still has: life, breath, love, and the power to inspire others. You may not control your circumstances, but you can always control where you place your attention. And here's the truth. Gratitude is not a feeling. It's a discipline. You train it. You build it. Try this simple act for 30 seconds each morning. Close your eyes and name 3 things you're grateful for. A roof, a friend, a fresh breath. That's all it takes to rewire your mindset from stress to strength. Want something more powerful? For the first hour after waking up, make a vow. No complaints. About work, about the weather, about anything. It will be harder than you think. But you'll feel lighter, clearer, calmer. And that feeling, that mental freedom, is priceless. Practice 10. Don't complain in the first hour after waking. Have you noticed how your morning mood sets the tone for your whole day? You wake up, the alarm's too loud, your body feels heavy. Another day, you mumble. And already, negativity takes the lead. But here's the Stoic truth. We are not defeated by events themselves. We are defeated by how we interpret them. The early morning is a vulnerable time. Your logic is still waking up. Your emotions, still hazy, are easily triggered. That's why this final practice is deceptively simple but incredibly powerful. For 1 hour after waking, no complaints. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are in charge. Think of it as a mental warm-up, a way of training your willpower before the day truly begins. This isn't about pretending, it's about choosing. Choose a deep breath over a complaint. Choose a journal entry over a scroll. Choose tea and stillness over sarcasm and sighs. Marcus Aurelius said, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being." That's the mindset. Life isn't always easy, but it's yours to face with dignity. And if you can win the first hour, you can win the whole day. So, are you ready to try? 1 hour, no complaints, just presence, just strength, just self-mastery. And if you've made it this far, congratulations! You've completed 10 powerful Stoic practices, from mastering thoughts to embodying action. So now I ask, which practice hit you the hardest? Which one do you need the most right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. If you found this video helpful, take a second to like, share, and subscribe. It helps grow our community and keeps this journey alive. Because this isn't just philosophy. This is how we fight back against chaos, with calm, with clarity, and with courage. I'll see you in the next video.